Well, turned on the news today this morning, and on the headlines it was there. So far since the tragic shooting at Walmart, 28, I think, potential mass shooters have been arrested. Now, I guess the last one, I'm not quite sure where the last person was. I didn't watch it in detail or see it. It showed that the guy had web gear, ammo pouches, loaded magazines, a shotgun, an AR-15, and some other stuff. They said they found equipment, military equipment, and a cache of guns and ammo. Now, how these people, I guess how these arrests have come about is these people have publicly stated their intent of carrying out such a thing. I really don't believe they can just arrest you without intent, and it is against the law to menace people, even if it is not a weapon, but something that looks like a weapon, or the implied threat of a weapon is illegal. Okay, it is grounds to be arrested. So how this is going about, I guess through social media, and again, people are idiots. A lot of people are paranoid that through our cell phone and computers, that they can track us and monitor us and know what we're thinking and doing and buying, and that's probably true. But like I stated in another video, other than me talking about old guns, going to the American Legion or the grocery store or my house or the gun range, you pretty much know where I am. Anybody that knows me knows where I am. The government needs to know that fine. I don't go around insinuating or inciting or voicing any derogatory or menacing things towards anyone. And the videos are just in general. So I guess for now, I don't fall into that category, but what happens is how they interpret this. Now, it's true. There are people that are idiots that put a whole array of crimes on Facebook. Okay, whether I think one was a rape, and then even a murder. They murdered somebody, videotaped it, and posted it to their friends. Okay, they did catch these people. Robberies, beatings, you hear it all the time. So criminals, though they may think they're smart, ain't really dealing with a full deck, I guess, or they were using, I guess one criminologist said they were using the video to intimidate others or something, which just basically made it easy to convict them. So, question is, what are we headed towards? Are we headed towards a military police state here, where if I make a video and say the wrong thing or the wrong view or statement on it, an idea, will I be put on a list, or even under observation? It's good that the people who were threatening people are stopped. I'm not saying it's wrong to arrest these people. If they're making a threat to the public and voicing it, yeah, go get them. All right. I don't know if they've changed the law or made something easier, because there are several people who did carry out crimes like this that should have been stopped. It was kind of obvious there's something wrong with them. But then again, when we get into the legal definition, is he menacing, or is he just not mentally well? Okay. It's a fine line. And if the individual is smart, he knows exactly what not to say to step over that line where he can be stopped. See, that's a difficult thing with a lot of these deep-seated mental illnesses. Okay. The people are smart enough to know. Okay, and get away with it. So, like I said, I have no idea where any of this is going. It doesn't seem to be a panic at the gun shows about buying guns. Again, we're in this complicated area, social behavior, And like they said, you have to be able to prove intent. But again, the consensus shows that anyone who has a number of firearms or large amounts of ammunition is potentially, I think that's kind of the slight that the news is putting in there. If there's anybody that fits this profile, type of thing. And again, right after that, they showed something of President Trump, and now they're trying to say that he's changing his mind on legislation from one day to the next, and they show a very small clip of him telling them all, something about China, and that's it. Just like a 15-second clip, which really is not put into context, is not given a detailed explanation. And much like the crap of, we arrested these people. Okay, what are the details of all of this? Okay, it's like when the tragedies happen. What are the details of the person involved doing? Okay, I mean, they're not going to do it immediately while there's a criminal investigation. But eventually, nobody ever explains the details. Why is that important? Because instead of allowing it to happen or trying to stop somebody on the verge of some sort of violent behavior, what are the underlying social problems that create this environment? You don't hear anybody say that. Okay, that's the problem. What's going on that creates the environment where this happens? Well, one factor, no matter what, there's always going to be a percentage of people that live outside the social norm, be it from mental illness or whatever. Okay, there's always going to be that percentage, whether you got 100 people or 100 million people. There's always going to be a small amount that fall outside or do something bad. There's no stopping that. It's just human nature. I think the problem also lies in disproportionately, as the world population grows, the number and frequency of incidents increases. Okay, we're at a world population crisis. More people, more problems. Very simple equation. Okay. Secondly, I brought up in the other video how they were complaining that people can be controlled through ads or messages or Facebook or YouTube or whatever. And like I said, to me, it's awful hard for me just to see a little advertisement or a snippet of something and have it really sway my opinion on a political or like the economy or things like that, or to say one political candidate is good or bad or that. But that's what they try to do. Like today, that little clip of President Trump, they're trying to portray him as somebody who flip-flops or changes his mind. And politically, that's probably the worst thing you can do. Doesn't matter what the hell your opinion is. If they accuse you of changing rapidly or unpredictably, doesn't matter. That's like a political attack on him. So it's used and all. And how can you believe the news? When they had the big thing about taking down the monuments in this state, Civil War monuments, they went to Alamance, which is the county seat there, not Alamance. I forget the city, but it's right off of Highway 40. And, it was Graham. Graham is the county seat of Alamance County. Because Graham is right on Highway 40. And that statue's right in the middle of this little town, right downtown. So they had a big protest. They were going to tear the one down there at Chapel Hill. And they're going to go to Graham. And the people who supported not removing the statue, so many of them showed up that Saturday, they actually blocked one lane, and the ramps in the Graham were over flooded with traffic for hours. They had, they blocked up a major interstate highway. And there was a guy from the Post that went down there, and he said that they filled the whole main street with just people wanting the statue to stay. But that is not what the local news put. Doug told me, he goes, they went down 2 or 3 blocks behind the courthouse and filmed like 10 people walking around. And well, not many people showed out here today to protest removal of the statue. So, how can you believe any news agency? All right? You got one telling you that. You have another one you can probably find on the internet that'll tell you that there's a secret alien base full of reptilians underneath the White House that control the whole world. Okay? How do you believe anybody, no matter what extreme? So, again, it's kind of unnerving. They're making arrests, and if they're legitimate arrests, great. But will this spiral out of control into where our country's reduced to a military police? That's the frightening thing. And like I said, nobody is addressing the base of the problem. It comes down to society. It starts with education. It starts with the fact people are not held accountable for their actions. And this is institutionalized in our schools, public schools, from when they're children. They're not held accountable. They're not forced to conform and pass certain tests. Okay? Their parents are not forced to guide their children, because you just can't send, people have this attitude, well, I send my kid to school, he should learn manners, social behavior, and everything. I've heard people say that. I'm like, are you insane? And the schools do this where they say, well, we can't push the children or try to force them to be better students because it disturbs them or whatever, and can't hold them accountable. Well, then you have adults who are irresponsible, undisciplined, and don't wish to be held accountable for their actions, and you wonder why all this insane crap happens, why nobody can hold a job. And again, if we go with the further education, everybody's promising you, well, if you get a college degree, you can get a very high-paying job and not really do much anything other than sit around, collect a good paycheck, and not have to, physically work or whatever, It ain't quite true. It's kind of a giant con, or advance yourself to an education. And basically you do it taking out student loans, okay? And people find out. I'm not saying that getting a higher education is not good, but you have to pick the job, be informed, make sure there's a market, and get a degree that is in something that the people are looking for, okay? So once you get your degree, there is a waiting position for you because of the demand, and you go there and get your job. A lot of it isn't. They just give people these degrees for all these different jobs where there is no demand for it. Or these general business degrees or something. Okay, again, it's something you have to be aware of, you have to plan on, you have to think about it. You just don't go get a college degree and expect, something to happen. Because there are a lot of people that tell you to go get a degree in something and there are no jobs, or the availability of the positions is very, very small or specialized, or the market's flooded. I guess that internet security or something, you're supposed to be able to make $55,000, $60,000 a year. I know a guy going to school part-time, but people have said they've worked with several people that have done it, and in reality, unless you're ready to move to an extremely large city or where the headquarters of one of these companies are, you're not going to get a high-paying job. So that's another thing. And no matter what anyone says, there still is a class system in this country. And even though they say you're not supposed to, it's politically incorrect to racially profile you and all this. But when you look at the statistics and how they break them down, they are profiling people. The government and the powers that be do it. They say they don't, but they do. And this also creates friction, division, and anger amongst people. So, I have no idea. I'm just sitting here. I got my things to do. I have another doctor's appointment today, just trying to kill time. But I see all this crazy stuff. And then I get the American Rifleman. And of course, the NRA has to put in there what a lot of these Democratic candidates are saying. And I mean, some of them, in gun control. Turning in by force all semi-automatic, large capacity magazine weapons, limiting nationally anyone to have more than just 200 rounds of ammo, a total complete national database on everyone that owns a firearm in the country. You know, this is all getting into a socialist or it's not United, these measures are not what the United States is about, put it that way, however you want to call it. And I think they really don't realize, they hit a certain group of people that agree with this, but it is not by far the majority. And, that I know is true. People don't like it. Most people in general, and it doesn't matter what, whether it comes to firearms or how much money you make or how much money you have, they do not like the federal government sticking their nose in their business or telling you how to run your life on any point. Not so much just one, but on any of it. So I doubt very much that'll ever take seat. At least the way the laws are now, such things, you can't have them. They'd have to totally change the whole legal system of this country. But I say that now, who the hell knows 2 years from now what'll be going on, or 5 years from now, Well, that's my little getting it off my chest today. A little bored, just waiting around, trying to get my things done. But stay tuned and we'll come up with another little conversation.